So speed option, what I love about speed option, I pair it with my inside outside veer. I love it. It's one of my most efficient plays. It's super easy, and especially at the youth level, it can be ran. Whereas sometimes you just get quarterbacks, depending on where you're at, what type of quarterbacks you're working with, that just they're not athletic enough. They don't have the diagnosis of real time information to run these uh, triple option, veer option, midline type plays, but they can sometimes run speed option. We had last year took a program, or we took a group of kids that had came to us. They had only won 3 or 4 games, but from the time their third, fourth grade season, and we did a lot of it with running speed option. And it was just simple, easy install, and I'll help you. And another play that can be practiced on your strip drill, right? There's no quarterback, running back mesh required, so it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have that real time diagnosis of who's taking the ball. So if you're struggling with those types of things, speed option is a very good look. You can, I would look at speed option. I'd have it in all of my playbooks just because of how easy it is to install and rep and teach. The teaching part is the big piece, right? We all need to run concepts that we can teach. Because if we can't teach it, what are we doing, right? So let's take a look a little bit at our speed option film. And it's the same game. We have the same hyper aggressive DNs. They're best players, like we talked about beforehand. Uh, and it's a good pair with Indy because they get used to the running back running underneath the end so much that they try to commit because it's the very similar eye candy type motion. You're getting a very similar type look defensively. So they see us pounding veer option football down the middle. So they I don't know, they get caught up with the eye candy, right? It's the same lose-lose type principle. Uh, if this DN shoots up field and commits to this motion man and takes him away, then Eli or E or our quarterback can keep it underneath and run under the DN. It's you're using your inside veer, outside veer blocking scheme for this. I've even seen it ran with like a sweep type blocking scheme where you're identifying maybe a second level guy that you're pitching off of or pitching to conflict on a second level, as we talked about pitching off of conflict. But it can be ran with a bunch of different blocking schemes. Maybe I've even seen it ran with power up front. But yeah, like I said, whatever blocking scheme you're working with, speed option's a good pair. It's a good pair. And if you see uh, putting defenders in a bind, conflicted defenders, they don't know quite what they're doing, so they can't play fast. They can't play how they would traditionally play on any given day because we're putting them in these stressful situations where they're in lose-lose situations and they're thinking about it too much. We do a good job here. Our quarterback pushes the conflict. He should be pushing to the outside shoulder. And we'll talk. I've got a really good teaching point clip here in a second that'll help you guys get a good look. But you're attacking the outside shoulder on speed option because you really want to create that alley of space here, right? So he does a good job. We cut the end loose. We get it out to our wing, and we're running to space, right? We get an alley, uh, and we make some stuff work. Uh, same game later in the day. DN's playing hyper aggressive, and we talked about it. They're known for putting their two best players at defensive end, even if they're not as athletic or match the prototypical DN. This team's known for just putting their best players on the end and hoping that they can out athlete us and stuff like that. But if you're eliminating them to a lose lose, whatever type of decision they make, a lose lose, they can't mess up your game plan, right? And we talked about how you've got those guys where at the end of a night you've watched them make 10, 12, 13 tackles, and it's like, what could I have done? This is what you can do, right? Take them out of the game, read them. You don't have to block them all 60 plays or 45 plays or however many you're looking at. Read them, make it a lose lose. Our quarterback does a good job on getting to conflict and pitching off, and we make a couple guys miss, right? Same game. He at this point we've ran Indy. We've ran a bunch of different things at him. They don't know what they're doing. Like I said, they've tried a couple of different things. He's not knifing off the edge now. What is he doing? He's trying to play this game where he's getting upfield and he's going to try to knife back. Doesn't matter what he's doing because with the set of principles that we're teaching our quarterback, he's gonna push to the outside, push to conflict, and if he takes himself out of the play by over under knifing or whatever, fine. But we still got a good stock and two hats for any extra according defenders that might overflow or actually potentially make the play. We do a good job. He pitches off conflict, and we've got space. We go 4 or 5 yards untouched. Great.